Happy time zone, everybody. Welcome to Speed Gaming 2. We've got a very exciting race going on today. We've got week 2 of the Link to the Past League Season 5. This is in Ferocia week. And today we've got representative from my own team, Trip, representing Taunt the Frog. And we've got Pool Float here from You Got Poutine on My Cheesesteak. I, of course, am Homewrecker, and with me here is Iceman F1. Iceman, how's it going tonight?
Hello, not too bad. I'd like to point out you said cheesecake, it's cheesesteak.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Listen, I'm sorry. It's been a long day for me. I've been doing a lot of reading, and apparently that is not my forte. So I apologize. Yes, you got poutine on my cheesesteak.
It's more the flavor. I don't know if you'd want poutine on your cheesecake, but on cheesesteak, delicious.
I mean, I guess it would depend on how savory the cheesecake is. I could maybe
Still
go
don't
with
think
that.
it's going to work that well.
Probably not.
Looks like we're starting, though.
All right, here we go. Good old-fashioned double start at Link's house. Oh no, Trip decided to just check Link's house. He's going to, I'm going to guess, Skull Woods.
A nice bomb. Pulls statue from Pool Float to actually get bombs. Lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. I've talked with Trip about this week, and I know that he's deciding that tree pull was inconsistent. So I think he's going to end up dropping into Skull Woods here.
Interesting glove out of Hype Cave, but otherwise nothing too major. Big key to TR, which we don't know if we need quite yet.
Yeah, I guess no immediate map checks from anybody here, but interesting that the glove's there. I've been doing a lot of, even though I'm not playing this week, I've been doing a lot of Ambrosia practice lately and been finding a lot of hammers in Hype Cave. So interesting to see a glove there for sure.
Yeah, glove can lead to a few things. Nothing quite yet, but actually, no. Yeah, nothing quite yet. With lamp, they can go up the mountain and do a few things there. Boots is nice.
Boots is very nice. Trip.
At least he died into the dungeon, not outside.
That's true. Just struggling with some Gibdos. The good old fun Gibdo manip. As it turns out, they don't like to cooperate all that much.
Of course not.
Let's see if this was worth it. Well, he got his bombs, so...
It's an interesting start for Ambrosia. I never know what's a good way of going, because there's so much open and so few opportunities for getting stuff. You need either money or bombs early.
Yeah, I think the typical hope is that you can get bombs quick and check. You do basically exactly what Pool Float did. You check a Hype Cave and then hope some money comes up, and then you can just continue to possibly the arrow game to do dig game or double back like Pool Float's doing now. I like the route that he's taken to start this.
So far, not too much in Skull so far. Possible 2 items in the front plus the 1 on the boss.
Yeah, it's always weird for me trying to do this because I always feel like there's going to be, not counting the boss, there's going to be 1 item locked behind the fire rod in the back. I feel like it's always 1 item, and looks like it's unless we got something in the big chest.
Yep.
Proving true
Just need
here.
to find that big key first. But otherwise, the only thing in here is bombs early game.
Oh, I thought he was going to get grabbed.
So the question is, where in the village is the progression?
The question can still be where and what. Like, are we going to see something terrible like a fire rod early here?
Here's
have
about
a
check.
fun 4 heart
TR
moth.
is pendant, and then 5/6 on Mire. Otherwise, blue crystals through Dark World. All right, here's some new checks.
I love just watching. I love just watching this room that pool floats in. This Gibdo manip stuff just drives me crazy sometimes.
Well, there's money for chess game at least.
Yeah, 50 will be enough. See if Trip decides to. Okay, just pulling the entrance. I thought he might dip, but he's gonna wait.
Even have enough after chess game to do arrow game for some money for dig game.
Which is good. That'll save him a little bit of time with how his routing is worked out early here. See what we've got waiting for us.
So the answer is
real prize in
dig
there.
game or Thieves Town.
Yeah, the real prize there was the 100 rupees, I think.
Okay, so what's the bet? Lamp to go up to Low Heart Death Mountain, or some other progression? Mushroom's not helpful.
Oh, good. Yeah, not helpful at all. I'm willing to bet the lamp's going to show up here somewhere. It always seems to
Kind of
go.
like to see Thieves Town Big Key.
Oh, that would be something.
See how their Low Heart blinds are.
Well, at least that one is nice and scripted, so they can if they can rely on execution. Not like the moth that's like, well, I'll just, hang out in the spikes and good luck trying to hit me.
At the same 100 for pool float, so he'll have to do some arrow game to farm up some money.
Oh, wow.
Dig game it is.
Okay. Yep. Dig game it is. They'll probably get there about the same time.
Yeah, I can see that. Although pool float will have to do arrow game for a bit.
Have to do one or two arrow games depending.
I think if you go in there knowing you need money for pod later, do 2 at once. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah, we just started. We're just 7 minutes into a race to what is now, we know, dig game, which has something waiting for us. Could be Fire Rod, could be...
That was the Torok Big Key, so not helpful right now, and that's also a pendant, so hopefully not helpful at all.
At the very least, that's an easy dungeon to maneuver around in inverted. But yeah, you really don't want to have to spend time in there because they're usually going in and out, in and out. Picking up his boots. That 100 rupees from the chess game is really actually making a huge difference right now. This is interesting.
Yeah,
even though we're talking like seconds, like it was enough time. Oh,
hammer.
There it is.
Okay, so now Catfish, Pyramid, and Pod was open. And once they go back to the Thieves' Town, they won't have to worry about the big chest.
That's true. So we did see the small key in there, so...
Okay, I like this play. Go up to Pyramid and Catfish first before dipping Pod.
Yeah, I think with boots in hand, this is... I'd like to say this is the quote obvious call, the quote unquote no brainer, but at the very least. It's not going to feel as bad if it turns up to be nothing. Or
yes,
big key to Thieves
exactly what I
Town.
was hoping.
Yep. Oh, and there we go. Trip is going for it.
I don't know. I still feel you should try Catfish at least while you're there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like you should have gone to Catfish before. Like I don't think this is the wrong call leaving, but you're basically there. You can potentially come back and get it later if you get a mirror on your way to Zora, but what do you think Pool Float's going to do here? Same thing?
I'd hope Catfish, but yep, looks like
looks like it.
So we'll see if that's anything important.
The mini divergence. Here we go.
It is hard to diverge in Verosia. There's so little to do.
Yeah. At least until, you get to the light world, and then then there's everything to do.
Now the big question is, what's going to be in Thieves Town that's going to open them up? And how good are you with your low percent at Thieves Town?
Yeah. Yeah, some of these rooms are just a joy to go through on 3 and 4 hearts.
Too early to tell about Agassi, but maybe. Okay, so Trip didn't skip anything too important.
Fortunately, Catfish not being a big homie today.
Okay, I kind of expected this from Pool Float. He's going to go over to Pod. He knows the Mimic clip, so for him, this is a nice, easy way of getting items.
Yeah. That's like... I would be hard-pressed to avoid doing this myself right now. It's like if you're gonna try and steal something early in a seed like this and get some sort of item advantage, I think this is the way you have to do it. Big of a gamble as it is.
I think part of it though is your skill level. Like if you're not comfortable with Mimic Clip, you would want a bottle or something else to make sure you can full clear.
Yeah. And I think in Trip's case, Trip is more of a standard Kaz Boots player and is big on following logic.
Getting the Moon Pearl.
And logic led him to a Moon Pearl.
I don't think Pool's going to be that far behind from that, but we'll see if there's anything in Pod that'll help early game.
Well, I guess this depends on if Pool goes for mimic clipping here now too, right? Because like Pod is not necessarily a quick dungeon to route through.
No, but with low hearts, you can at least death warp pretty quickly from right side.
That's true. We do have a hammer, so that helps. Trip. Oh! Blind just stopped.
The script was good.
Yeah, Blind stopped a hair short of his third sword swing there.
Okay, that's good, Bail, while you can. Actually, yeah, that is Light World now.
Yeah, the question Bros brought up in chat about following logic. Thank you for explaining that. It is kind of a complex subject, but the basic explanation was given. Following the items you're given kind of dictates what the seed expects you to be able to do. So this check right here, a bow is expected to kill these mimics to get into the next room. But we're going to see a fun little minor glitch here from Pool, hopefully. So he is using a wall grab to manipulate the path of this mimic into the wall. And hopefully, if he gets it, there we go. Yep. Very, very nice. He runs it off the screen.
I kind of expected him to come here for knowing that move.
Yeah, and that was extremely clean. That was very impressive. All for $20, unfortunately.
$20 and a map.
True, yeah. Now we get to see the back.
There's realistically only this one chest is in logic.
That's true. Yeah. We did get the keys, so at least this itself is in logic. Trip now has journeyed into the light world, and we are on the way. It'll be interesting to see what he goes with here. We did find that mushroom early, so I'm wondering if he's prioritizing turning that in.
Okay, half magic's not a terrible find here. But so far, nothing really else.
Oh. What a disappointing big key, unfortunately. Swamp big key shows up on Graveyard Ledge here, and it's the best way to turn an excitement into a sad.
Yeah, one of the big keys we really don't need.
It's just like they always say in the Rando, though. You don't need it until you do.
Just like Hair Basement?
No, you never need that. That's a different story. I'm not going into that.
And there's another key we potentially might not need.
Yeah, Trip finding all these keys that while they do unlock one item each, they aren't required for beating their respective dungeons, so that's the
careful.
Ooh, yeah.
He's found both map and compass, so the rest of the items in here are items.
A dark maze of pod can be no joke sometimes.
Unfortunate. All of pod with only half magic to show for it.
Potentially helpful down the line, like you said, though.
Yeah, I would
depends on...
as his teammate, would prefer something a bit more lucrative.
Oh yeah, no, obviously. I mean, as a runner of this game, you know that if you're making that dip into pod, you want to get something nice out of it. Potentially, like I said, I was talking about something that where you could be jumping ahead in your progression, getting an item that you shouldn't have yet, but I know all too well that sometimes pod just does not have what you need.
I guess maybe if it was a pendant pod.
Oh yes, of course.
Unfortunate hit on there, on the drop down. Nice powder though from getting it in the village. Can turn that in right away.
Moon Pearl is in the big chest of Thieves Town, so Pool will be getting that on their way through here.
My other teammate is calling me out in chat for something. Perhaps it was the pendant pod.
And now Trip is finding big keys of value, both pod and desert here, it looks like, inside the well of Kakariko.
Hopefully he'll do a map check to see which is which. There we go. Eastern is the crystal with the pendants, Hera and desert, green being Hera.
Yes. And our third pendant was Turtle Rock, we said. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see what awaits us in the House of Chickens here. $20. This is actually a good situation for the runners with. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the other big issue, right? Like Pool's gonna probably go back for that, I would assume.
Well, it's a dungeon he has to beat unless he gets everything else before, and he's in Goma when he goes back there. Yeah, he's gonna go back and check that. It's an item.
And the flute,
hiding under the bed with all the nice checks.
Kid. Yeah.
You get powder, so you can immediately check it. You get bottles, you can check Sick Kid, and then from Sick Kid you get flute, and you can just immediately activate it.
That's going to give us mountain access, as well as access to the mire area. Not as much value without the mirror in hand right now, but
it's the mire access is 2 items plus knowledge of which medallion you need. It's not terrible.
Oh no, it's definitely good. Yes. Old dollar from the bat. Yeah. Oh man. Pool seems to be having a lot of trouble here with Thieves Town.
Yeah, the Greenmail low percent is the big one here. Everything does at least 2 or more hearts of damage.
Yeah, there's not a lot of leeway at all with no safeties to speak of. Like, this is definitely not a forgiving situation to be in. I was almost sitting here trying to wonder if Pool would maybe grab the Moon Pearl and leave, but you can't go that deep in and not at least take the maiden home.
Yeah, he'll take it home, at least give the fight an attempt, but if he dies at the fight, he'll pull a trip and just leave.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't fault anyone for doing that. Like, low percent boss fights can quickly become a situation where you're not happy and you start playing even more sloppy if you continue to die them.
And that exact thing that Trip got from the race game would help him if he had it right now, the blue cane.
The true cheat stick, at least when it comes to low percent blind.
And half magic. That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Continuing his loop here. I was mentioning this earlier, but I feel like the runners are probably happy to see Desert be a pendant. That's one less potentially terrible item to try and find in the book.
Yeah, because inverted, you need the book guarantee for Desert. That also means that big key that Trip found for Desert is not really useful right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Poolful is finally going to get his Moon Pearl.
And here is our Fire Rod, somehow at the bottom of this little pond. This dam, if you will.
Yeah, everything is now Light World. It's kind of crazy how much all that was.
Trip almost got two for one with the mini Moldorms.
Okay, I don't see this going very well single heart, but let's see how he does.
Just gotta believe a bow and a Meyerbeig show up, and a mirror show up in mini Moldorm.
Also blue mail.
Yes. Oof.
Okay.
That
Guess his pool float's gonna bail at this point. He's got his boon pearl. He wants out.
yeah, and that's, I mean, we have the hindsight knowledge of knowing that's the quote unquote right call, but I think, like I said, I think anyone in that situation would do that. Interesting to see what pool decides to do first.
I would guess
Trip now with flute and mirror hand and is flying all over the place.
Could already known that Trip.
I wonder if that was just some some muscle memory. Although we haven't had any key sanity stuff yet in League, so
Nope, that's kind of week 4. Retrance.
yeah.
Okay, here's pod play for a Trip. So with the bow and the big key, he can get this out of the way right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure what he was doing there.
I think he wanted to get back his portal so that he can get it closer to Eastern, but realized just finish pod and then go back if he needs to.
That makes sense. I'll be interested to see, because we know he's not going to get anything. Well, he probably won't get anything but half magic out of here, so
Yeah, there's still 2 items we don't know yet. The big chest and the boss.
it's like Pool's following a similar route to Trip, at least at the beginning of this Light World excursion through Lost Woods into Back of Escape.
I mean, it makes sense. That's the most dense items that you can get right now. So, of the stuff that we haven't seen yet, it's, I believe, mostly Zora itself, Eastern, the couple things on the mountain, and I don't think Trip went to Agina.
Trip did not go to Agina. No, we haven't seen anything in the desert area. So there's Agina, there's a checkerboard cave. We can scope the desert ledge. But yeah, then we've got everything up on Death Mountain. We don't have mitts yet, so we can't get full access, but there is Super Bunny Cave. There's the first check and hookshot cave that you can bonk to with those boots. There's a little bit up there.
You can rescue the old man and get the spec rock item.
Mm-hmm.
Our tracker's reminding us they haven't actually been to Meyer Shed, so that's a quick, easy 2 items.
Yeah, and surprisingly, we've seen 0 medallions to this point.
I think personally, I would prioritize heavily Meyer Turtle Rock just to find out the medallions. Rock less so, but at least Meyer, we know we need to get in there.
Yeah, and the way this is shaping up, it's very possible one of those places, either like Super Bunny or Mayo Shed, could have a medallion. Alright, so each runner right now just backtracking over what the other's done. They kind of took different routes.
All runners get to the same spot eventually.
Yes. Picking up their pod big now.
Okay, let's hope Trip can make it through this so that we can see what's on that big chest. I spoke too soon. Oh wait, no, I think he has a fairy. Yeah.
Yeah. Good thing too, because like I said, Dark Maze of Pod, even with a sword to guide to you, not necessarily the easiest thing. If you get kind of off your route, you can quickly get lost in there. I'm
So
wondering
to
if
answer
that's
chat, Pool Float
Alright.
did a lot of scouting in pod early game, but he also, once he went back to Thieves Town, did die a couple times.
Trip making it through as Poolful picks up that flute and the cape in the big chest of. I don't actually remember. I think. Did Trip scout Bumper Ledge at the beginning?
If Trip
I don't
did
remember.
and Pool Float did, I think it's only 20.
Okay.
So while nice to have, it's not needed in the seed. Pool Float gonna get his single dollar.
All the Magic Bat has today is scams.
So I'm gonna assume Trip is pretty confident in his Dark Turtle room.
With Fire Rod, yes.
It's gonna be an interesting fight though. No other safety. 5-heart blue mail.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly the how the damage works with the blue mail, but I think you get at least one hit of buffer out of this.
Interesting. Pool Float grabbing the bug net. I guess he wants a fairy just in case if he needs it later down the road.
We're gonna see some swag kills on Aghanim.
Maybe he wants to practice before Swordless Week.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most efficient way to play League. While you're playing one mode, you're also practicing for the other one at the same time, in the same race. Alright, so Trip through the turtle rooms and onto Helma, 4 hearts. This is a relatively safe fight if Helmasaur really wants to cooperate. It kind of looks like that's what's happening here. That was an interesting... Oh, okay.
Only deals 1 damage, so you can take a couple more hits.
Yeah, okay. Just getting run into, not that bad. But, Trip making an exciting fight there. But just a hair under 34 minutes, we've got our first crystal for Trip.
I can see Pool not being too far behind for that one once he gets his mirror and bow, but it's a decent start already. So where does he go now is the question.
Well, if he's going back for that portal, he's probably going to go into Eastern.
Yep, looks like it. Can't clear it, doesn't have the big key yet, but at least can get the items and then mirror back out. Interesting splash damage there.
I don't know about this play out of Trip here.
Where would you go instead?
Well, we do have the mushroom outstanding. I don't think he has gone to Uncle and Friend of Escape.
That would be correct.
And with all of that in logic, that is more checks than what's in Eastern. I don't know.
Well, we have seen the small key from Back of Escape, so Front only has 2 items. Sorry, 3. Because
Correct.
the map is in there somewhere. So this is just as equally good.
Well, if you count the 2 from Uncle, that's 5. That's kind of what I was getting at there.
When does Uncle ever have anything good?
Only like always. The poor guy left Link alone and sacrificed himself for the good of Hyrule. Surely he's got to have a good item every now and then.
We'll probably go there after this and then go up to Mushroom or something. But Pool Float's going to do fake flippers to get this out of the way.
This is interesting. Do you think they'll take this all the way to Zora?
If you're going to do this, I think you would go all the way. You have the Pearl, you have basically everything you need to get up there. The only thing you can't get is the ledge, but you can scout it. I would find this weird otherwise to only do Hobo and nothing else. Although maybe I would have saved the water walk in case the ledge was useful.
He's got bow and bombs. Can he do that? Can he do that?
I'm not sure if he knows Splash Elite. I know I'm not very good with it yet, so that would play into my routing.
Nothing but a lot of money.
Okay, ledge is not worth it anyways.
Let's see what Zora is waiting for us.
Quake for Meyer. So that's what
we're getting the Meyer checks now. Well, I've seen worse scams out of that fish. Oh, wow. That's an interesting Meyer shed. A lamp and a book.
But yeah, that book as well.
Oh no. Okay, yeah. I mean, if Trip is heading to desert right now, like I can't blame him for a second.
You technically have everything to clear it.
Yeah.
So you can get everything out of there.
You do not have flippers. Sorry, Trip. Pugs do not swim on their own. Yeah, no. Seeing that book is worrisome. The first thought out of my mind would be, or the first words out of my mouth would be, oh no. Bombo's tablet has something explosive on it, but not the explosive thing we're looking for.
Yep, same thing. The ledge has just 3 bombs. Nothing terribly important. Okay, now check again. I don't understand why he walked in then out. If he's probably going to go back to desert.
That you're just running that through in his head. Like, what's the best way to do this on the fly?
Although he has this mirror out, maybe he's not. Maybe he's going to mirror and flute away.
I think if he was going to do that, he would have save and quit there after checking that chest. Yeah, no, this is going to be a trip in the desert. Yeah, this book just oh. This
I
book
guess where
makes
else do you
things
go?
really interesting right now. Yeah, I mean that's fair. Where else do you go? You still have Uncle and Escape waiting, but
I know a lot of people say once you get an item, follow that item, see where it leads you.
not just that. Following the item to a pendant dungeon, so you know it could be terrible.
Well, his boot's locked at least. So maybe boots plus book, knowing it's locked, locking something.
It's also the fact that he's got the big key, like you mentioned earlier. Like this dungeon's fully in logic. He's got everything he needs to complete it.
Yep. He's not even sure how he wants to route it.
Yeah.
Okay, both items out of the front, just ether. Not even going to the back for the boss item.
That's an interesting call. Let's see what he's thinking now.
I don't know. I think that boss is really quick. That while you're here, just beat it, get that last item. It's not going to be any faster.
I mean, it's if anything, it's going to be slower coming back here. You're
Yeah.
going through desert again, like. Oh no, we're going to the back of Skull Woods. Okay.
I think we saw one item. Yeah, the 3 bombs from the front. So there's one more remaining in either the bridge chest or the big chest. With the final being on the boss.
A little surprised that he's not going to the light world and then doubling this up with a ped check.
That actually would be a good play.
Yeah. One of those things that you don't always think about if you don't do a lot of inverted necessarily. And even when you do.
But it's also very smart. You get information and get to where you want a little bit faster than having to go through the back of the dungeon.
Yeah. Where do we think Pool's gonna go after this helmet kill here?
That's a very good question. I think I would agree with smart play would probably be Castle. we did see that the last the last item in the front is in the big chest itself. Yeah, thinking about it, the Dead's location is Uncle/Castle. Otherwise, if I wanted something slightly different, I would probably go up the mountain and see what the Hookshot Super Bunny is.
All right, a very healthy 5.5 hearts here with blue mail. Sorry for this moth. Seemed to be cooperating for a little bit, and now
he's saying screw you.
Well, yeah, the real villain here is the room. The room is not cooperating at all. Trip seems like he's trying to conserve his fire rod shots here. Or just being careful with them.
I think being careful with him, that's the best way of keeping his distance and staying alive. There we go.
Yeah. And concurrent boss... Oh.
Mitts. Interesting.
I think I know where we go now.
King's Tomb?
King's Tomb makes sense. I was going to say up the mountain.
Yeah, it's just King's Tomb is the only thing hard locked by Mitts. I would probably want to see if that's worth anything and then come back to Dark World/Mountain.
Trip may be agreeing with you here. Oh, he's going to go...
Yeah, Smith, and then turn those in.
Oh, nope, he's changed his mind.
Looks like it is the mountain.
I guess he agreed with you a second and then said, psych, I'm going to go up the mountain instead. Just a little bit of inside information. Those of us on Taunt the Frog are not big on talking to that frog or doing anything with that frog.
Kind of figured. I was told if I ever got to face you, pray it's on there because you'd be spending all the time just laughing at the frog instead.
Something like that, yeah.
Kind of like this play from Pool Float, just get this dungeon out of the way.
Yeah, it's right here, you're right here. That definitely makes sense. I'm a little shocked, honestly, that Trip didn't do it. Flippers.
Well, there's Ice Palace logic.
Yep. That's really interesting because that could get Trip thinking about all the flipper checks that Pool has done.
Looks like Pool is now thinking Skullwood as well.
Yeah.
Again, here you can beat it. Get the second last item. Interesting. Ether for TR, that's maybe not required.
Yes. Usually not required in perhaps logically, but in most inverted seeds, you don't really need to go into the main entrance of Turtle Rock to actually complete the dungeon.
But I have seen it sometimes where something's locked there and you don't get keys from the back to progress there.
Yeah. Oh no, it can definitely happen. Trying to decide how they want to do drop downs for Paradox here. Finding Quake.
Quake for Meyer, so can get in, but just can't beat it yet. So what? Kane, hookshot.
Kane hookshot and a sword. We've yet to see a sword acquired on the seed. Zarhara big key. I'm trying to think if they need any other big keys, but I don't think they do.
No, because
Eastern big key?
Oh yeah, Eastern big key.
Eastern
that's right.
big key.
Otherwise, the only other big keys are for, or were for pendants or a dungeon they've already beat in Skull. I think where that fairy knowledge pool is getting aggressive, which is good.
Yes. I feel like that's the way to fight Moth. Just you got to bully it before the room can bully you.
This is kind of what he needed, is to catch up relatively to where Chip was with that mitts.
Yeah, he was able to avoid the dip into desert, at least for now.
And this makes this a bit more efficient with flute and mirror and mitts. Probably cursing that land.
Oh, yes.
Could have wished to use it earlier.
All right, 3 bombs on the top of Spectacle Rock.
Okay, so unless Desert Boss has something, that book was useless.
Well, we still don't know about Ped.
But you don't need book to pull Ped. You just
That's
need the
true.
pendants.
But given the choice between blind pulling Ped and knowing you have to pull Ped,
Obviously, you would take the knowledge, but if you didn't have book and you got to the point where it was convenient to pull because you did everything else, you would
oh
just
yeah,
pull.
absolutely, yeah. The old man just giving birthday money to Trip here.
Yeah, so it seems
Now,
Pool's a
unfortunately,
bit more decisive in his decisions for some of the dungeons.
Yeah.
He knew exactly he wanted to go back to the front to get to the right side easier, so had his mirror ready.
So probably not required either.
Yeah, I think that's how you really wanted to route. If you thought you were going to go into desert, you go in, go to the right side, and exit that way, instead of checking these 2 checks and then going into the desert.
So I guess this means that Landmolus is just getting no love from everybody.
For now. I think if they have to, they'll come back, but looks like both runners agree, don't bother with it right now.
It's just as Trip dropped down into Mimic Cave here, I just realized that that there's no logical access to the Turtle Rock big chest.
Yep, not right now. But at least he has or he has access to this side of the TR for a bit.
Yeah, we can definitely get in. We can run around. Just
I think it's 3 chests he can get. He can get Chain Chomps, Big Key Chest, and then he can go to the right side and get Crystal Roller.
I assume he'll probably go back up, and drop down and check Laser Bridge also.
Yeah, after he goes back to the light world. But he's stealing a key. Why?
I'm not sure. I was wondering that myself.
Yeah, muscle memory is a difficult thing sometimes. But you don't need a key for this check, and he just now left the big key chest.
Hmm. Yeah, there's really no reason to go through these doors here since you have access to the front. That's an item in a location.
It is an item in a location.
All the things to put there. Why a shovel?
How much does Trip play these kinds of cross keys modes?
Not often cross keys.
Okay, so that would explain the routing and not doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because most cross keys players or anyone who's done those kind of Cs before would know this kind of backwards routing when you can get the entrances separately.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking about that, and that makes sense to me too, that this is just an experience on his part. Just a little bit.
Let's just hope that's nothing important there. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't anything in Big Chest for Pod.
Yeah, Trip, I really hope that's not anything you need, buddy.
But it looks like he's doing what you thought he was going to do and go back to Laser Bridge. Chadbert, we have no logical way to get over to that chest. If there is a way, I think you can potentially bomb jump over. He probably doesn't know that confidently enough.
Yeah. As bomb jumps go, that's one of the trickier ones, I feel like.
Nice blue go.
Yeah. Run out of magic right about now. There we go. Yeah. Trip kind of losing a bit of time here, kind of with how this Turtle Rock has been routed.
And that's kind of what I was saying from watching Pool Float do Desert, that Pool Float has an idea in his mind how to route a specific thing, and while he got to Moon Pearl and stuff later, this kind of stuff might bring him back into contention.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, he is up a crystal, I believe, right? Because he got that Thieves Town kill.
It won't take long for a Trip to go back
Yeah.
there. It also depends on how all the items land. I think the big thing now is if there's anything in that big key chest, that's going to hurt Trip a lot.
What I'm kind of surprised about, on top of that, is that I think he completely skipped Tower of Hera.
Correct. He went all the way over to that side, checked either
Dropped
tablet,
down,
but didn't even go into Hera to even check the lobby.
and he got the big key. So that's interesting because that's now what 4 items with the pendant.
Yep.
That are really inconvenient to get back to.
Let's see if your thought of Uncle and Castle had anything though. A yellow sword, okay.
How's that saying go about this game being randomized?
Why is that there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's how it goes. And there we are. Canis and Mario waiting for us.
Okay, so Mario's beatable now.
That gives us Misery Mire. That gives us some other stuff potentially in Turtle Rock.
Makes Ice Palace a bit easier to navigate through.
Mm-hmm.
So Hook and Eastern Palace big key from go.
Oh, are we about to see this bomb jump here?
He's gonna attempt it a bit.
Such a difficult setup. In my mind, I've only done it a few times personally. No big keys. We don't need those. That's right.
Let's see what Pool Float does after this. Probably go to the other side. Hope he doesn't miss that chest.
See what we get out of these chests here. So, map
Item
and
in
Zelda
Dark
Cell. What awaits us in Lava Chest here? The big key chest.
Ooh,
Oh my! Well,
that's
this is,
unfortunate.
that is extremely unfortunate for Trip. We just found a hook shot in the lava chest that Trip unfortunately abandoned while he was routing through Turtle Rock.
Admittedly, now that he has the cane, maybe that forces him back there, but that's only 4 items back there for him, or 4 chests left.
Yeah,
He has fully clearable Mire, Ice.
Yep. I think it'll be a while before he heads back.
The question, though, is when will Pool head to Uncle to get that cane? That's somewhat out of the way, out of the dungeons.
And Pool now has access to Swamp. Yeah, we now have a very interesting race on our hands at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Pool can finish Hookshot Cave while he's up in this area.
Mm-hmm.
If Eastern Palace is locked behind that.
Yeah, if our Eastern Big's in Hookshot Cave, then... There's the unfortunate part of this is that there's still plenty of places where this key could be. We could be going a while here still.
Would have been more efficient if Pool Float mirrored, checked Hookshot Cave, and then came down here. Okay, where do you go now, Pool Float?
Do another loop. That's what I assume.
No, it looks like I think he's gonna flute away.
That seems like a bold move. Do you think
He wants to clear.
he feels
dungeons.
behind, like late to that hook shot?
I think with how much trouble he was having to get Pearl and from Thieves Town, he feels pretty
Oh
behind and wants to
yeah.
just go to crystals that he can beat. So he'll go here, maybe go to the castle after, but I don't know.
Ice Palace is still clearable for him as well.
Clearable, but whether he wants to wait till Kane, I don't know.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's one thing, but have you considered? We know it's not, but have you considered Samara's in Ice Palace?
It often is until it isn't.
That's true. The number of times I've seen it in that big Ice Palace big key chest, though.
Just to taunt us.
Yes, exactly. I think this clear through swamp will give us. I don't know. I feel like that this big key is going to be here. This eastern big will be in swamp.
If it is, that's pretty good for Pool Float, but he still needs to go up to Uncle.
I think that's really good for Pool Float because yeah, he'll need to go to Uncle, but his go mode's waiting in that cave in those two checks.
Yep. Master Sword and then Kane.
Mm-hmm.
I just with where he is at now, where he can do ice. He's in swamp. I think he's in dungeon clearing mode right now for a bit.
Sure.
Hookshot was in Lava Chest in Turtle Rock, which Trip unfortunately stole a key, maybe not realizing the best routing, and is now orphaned it there for a bit.
And I think that has to be just muscle memory from typically skipping that check, as you would do in like a like you said, like a non-entrance rando or in.
Yeah, that's the thing with League is it throws you on a lot of different modes and have to get good on all of them or a lot of them. That's a nice silver pickup though for about to get to Vitreous.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate place in general for the silvers.
Yeah, if Pool Float does, if that's going to be a go mode Mire, he's not going to get those. No way is he going to go all the way there just to try for silvers. You might check things on the way, but never going to get those.
The fun little oh, let's say this is a fun little way to do Diver Down with the bombs.
Not sure how familiar Pool was with it.
I think he's setting it up right. He's just messing up the water exit.
He has 2 more chances.
There we go.
Okay, so left side has 2 items.
Yep.
Silvers. You have silvers.
Yeah, Trip just wanted to share with us the true power of the Master Sword here, I think.
And that the cape doesn't use much magic when you just keep swinging.
Yeah. There's so much stuff going on that the cape can't remember that it's being used.
Oh, menu boss, practicing for swordless mode.
We had this conversation before, right?
Yeah. I mean, sword spins are a little bit faster, but might as well practice while you can.
Yes. No, they are. It's a double spin with the fighter sword, but it's still a little bit faster with all this menuing. So for a tiny bit of time here, Trip is able to tie up the crystal count at 3. Into Ice
Going to his
Palace,
next.
which I wonder if we're going to see both runners in Ice Palace.
It seems plausible.
Setting up Argus there for some nice, easy fire rod shots, and solid menu boss kill out of Pool Float, obtaining the 4th crystal. Potentially onto Ice Palace now, as the hunt continues for our Eastern Palace Big Key.
Left side first, though.
Oh yes, of course, there are 2 items there.
I'm not sure. Like, I know with their equipment, it's not hard to get back to the castle. I'm hoping, though, that while he has the portal to Light World, he's just going to take it and go straight up, get those out of the way. But that's my bias on it being his teammate.
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Good icebreaker there out of Trip with the pause buffer. And there it is.
There's no mode.
Oh, we have reached no mode.
So if Pool Float does go there next, then all he's looking for is Uncle Kane.
Yeah, Uncle for his cane and his Master Sword, and then the Dungeon Rush. Oh, just missing that bomb jump. Trip at this point is just missing hookshot for go mode, but we know that it is in Lava Chest, which Trip has already been to, so with nothing left up there but pendants, like, I can't see him going back there unless he gets the ice rod, I think.
You think he would... I'm guessing then you think he's going to go Hookless Swamp and hope it's there? You think he does that before going back up to TR?
I think he'd just clean up the rest of his overworld checks. Like, he's going to go to Eastern and finish that. He might decide to do Smith Chain. And he still has flipper checks as well. I wouldn't be shocked if he did that after this dungeon also.
Yep, I think this is a ice play for Pool Float. Okay, so Pool Float will get his Eastern Big Key, probably go straight to Eastern right after. He has not been there yet, so that's a new check for him. Interesting.
Trip, there you go.
Oh, getting some supplies.
If you're gonna Ice Palace bomb jump, make sure you don't run out of bombs. That's a fair call.
Yep.
Needs to be a little bit careful with this cold stare kill.
Yeah, but 2 of the puffs are down. I think he's got it pretty easy now.
Oh, he just took out 2. Okay.
There we go.
Little swag bonk, I guess. All right.
5-4 to 4 again.
Yep. Chip will have this lead for a little, or this tie for a little bit long. Couple minutes though. Pool float should be done here, and then I would not be shocked if pool float heads to Eastern after this.
Most likely, like we said earlier, it's a crystal he has to beat. He
Yeah.
hasn't been there at all, so that gives him some items. And you're right, Flipper checks from Trip, so this will get him his red mail.
So, as we see the runners cover each other's tracks here, it might not be a bad time to give them a shout out here. Go ahead and follow these runners. You got me on that. Thank you. Pool float and Trip. I know this is Trip's second year in the league. What about pool float? Were you?
Pool Float was in league at least last year with New York Rambler and Kuchiri, I think it was.
Oh yes. Okay. I remember. I think I remember that team.
Then I approached Pool saying, "Hey, you want to form a team?" And then I guess Jarek also wanted to form a team. He's like, "Fine, I'll leave the other team and come with you guys."
Oh wow. Okay. So you stole him from.
Indeed, we did.
Oh, how could you?
Yeah, as Jarek said, Always Sunny and Pennant Pod was the team he was on before.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't know. I think they did well by picking up Killer App.
Yeah, no, they're that's definitely a good acquisition. Killer App's a very good runner. Not quite stole. Fair enough. All right.
I didn't even
Trip
realize
replacing his safeties.
the mushroom was 300. It's pretty good for buying
I
potions.
I think that was our first check of it. I think we just now had that turned in.
Then it's a very convenient check.
Yeah. When you actually get potion money from the witch.
It wasn't my eyes deceiving me. This was just an interesting route by Pool Flow. He did full left side before going to the Hammerlock side.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is what happened. I didn't see what the key situation was.
I think most runners would go up and fall down and then come here first before going over to the left side. Oh, that's what it was. Jarek bribed Pool Float with Coffee Crisp chocolate bars.
Oh, there you go.
They are very delicious.
So I'll admit, I wasn't following the items enough in Ice Palace, but Poolflow got that key, and they must have counted it as their last item.
Yep, I think
they just
I think on the
abandoned
right
the other
side
checks.
there was a small key and map or compass, one of the two.
Yeah,
So
I think I
he
remember
knows.
map being over there. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, okay. I thought Trip might be going back up the mountain. That was just a save and quit from Zora.
Yep. So he's going to go to Eastern as well.
Yep. So this becomes a race of Poolfloat going to Uncle and Trip going back into Turtle Rock for Lava Chest. And I think statistically speaking, I like Pool Float's chances a lot better here.
Yep. He's just finding the good time to go. I would like to think maybe after Eastern, you're in the light world,
Yeah.
just it's a quick run over.
Exactly. After Eastern is a great time to go.
There's number 5 for Pool Float.
Retaking the lead here. And...
Yep, 5 to Eastern.
Okay.
So he'll be in here a bit longer than Trip is, because he's going to clear all the items as well, whereas Trip's just going for the boss, but... Actually, no. Pool Float was here earlier.
No, they did do it with their return to pod.
Yeah. Okay, so then this is going to be an equal. Just go to the back.
Yep. Fresh information awaits us on these Armos nights. I wonder if we'll see another sword here at some point.
My guess is there's going to be one in GT and they're just going to find it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because realistically, it's either... Unless it's Overworld, they've got Hera left, Boss of Desert, and a few items left in Turtle Rock. Otherwise, they've basically scouted most of the things.
And it's Bombos.
A little bit slower fight, I think, for coming up for Pool without the silvers.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if how good he is with the quick kill.
Now the real question becomes, where's Trip going to go now? And, yeah, okay. Oh, Trip has to, that's right, finish Thieves Town.
Well, then probably while he's here, Hammer Peg Smiths.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Teammate saying
Also,
she doesn't think Pool Float can quick kill. If not, then I'll teach him. I taught him the current jump before our last match, and he pulled it off in that match, so... Not terrible, anyways.
Yeah, you might have to go into the the study lounge, Pool Float, and do some practicing.
Can do, Jarek.
Still, good Armos Knight's kill from Pool Float, and that's what, Crystal 6
for both. So
6 for both, that's right.
They're just missing
their respective items for their last dungeon. Yep.
Nope, so this is not a castle.
This is... Where are we going? Are we going to the Tower of Hera here? Or Hookshot Cave, potentially?
If you're coming up here, probably both. Also, no one's checked Spike Cave.
That's true. Trip must be feeling a little concerned. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a sufficient amount of taunting of that frog there.
Oh, that's not a big key you want to see right now.
Oh, did we just find the Skullwoods big key?
We did find the big key for Skullwoods.
Yeah, not in a position like this. You don't want to see that, especially knowing you could have got it before. Through tablet check, which I believe is just couch cash. Yeah.
Correct. All right, let's see what both runners miss in Hera.
I could see a sword being here. Or, you know, a piece of heart. That's kind of a sword.
Not a terrible thing to have. Especially with how much trouble you had early game. You want the health now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here's another check I don't think we saw out of either runner earlier. The shovel check. Also just a piece of heart.
Ooh, there's an item in the basement.
Wow. Is Pool Float gonna go get it?
I think if you're here, any sensible person would just finish it.
You mean finish the dungeon and leave?
No, fully complete and clear the dungeon of all items.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, let me just make this clear. We all play A Link to the Past randomizer. I don't know if that.
Although, our tracker has a good point. Maybe the green pendant into Uncle.
Which would again be a good routing decision. Yeah.
If only the red crystal wasn't Meyer. Otherwise, the big bum could have led him there also. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. You're here,
honestly,
clear the basement.
At what point do you think you make the gamble and just hope that maybe the Kane's in Meyer?
If you don't do Uncle after Hera or Green Pendant, then I think you probably make that call soon.
Yeah, there's so many things that like come into play here. Like sometimes the mindset is, for me, if you're behind, like what's the most gross thing still available? Maybe I should prioritize that because that's my only hope of winning.
Yeah. I think it depends on the mentality. For me, I think I do dense, in which case Uncle is my most dense location next. Because otherwise it's one item in Skullwoods, you've got Smith Chain, which is long, but not that many items, or hope it's in Meyer. And yep, Swamp for Trip, hoping for King, hoping for Hookshot in here.
Yep. I think this is probably, yeah, unless we see Pool Float go into Meyer without Kane looking for it, this might be it here.
Pool Float checking big chest.
$20. A lucrative check, if nothing else.
Right, Pool Float didn't check this because he went to the big chest side and bonked across.
Yep.
for another $20.
There we go.
I think if you come to Link's house, it's probably. Oh,
Oh, it could
flute.
just be the flute. Yeah, it could just be the flute.
There is more efficient flute spots, I think.
There are. Well,
Okay, he's hoping it's in Meyer, so he might actually get those silvers now.
well, we continue to be on this ride. Yes, we will get silvers. Good, so we'll have 2 Master Sword silver fights, potentially. Maybe we see the Tempered in GT, like you said.
Well, it's running out of spots that it can be now.
Yeah.
We full cleared every dungeon except for Desert Palace, which has only the boss left.
Mm-hmm.
Total Rock, which has front 2 plus boss. And Overworld, we have Green Pendant. And I think no one's checked King's Tomb.
Yeah, I was just thinking that earlier. We've had no checks on King, as far as I know.
Also Skull Big Chest, but I don't think anyone goes back for that now. So the logical choice is actually there's at least one in GT.
Yeah, yeah. Probably you bring up an interesting and important point. Like, I don't know if Trip goes back in to Turtle Rock. He may have, in his mind, left that lava chest for dead.
Yeah.
I have to see what he decides to do after this, because what does he got? He's got King's Tomb, Desert Boss.
To answer Homemade Beer in chat, no. He got the key from the Pokey and then walked away from the door. I guess normal open mode, thinking of steal the key.
Yes. Yeah, he stole the Poke Key and left to go to the front of Turtle Rock towards the Chain Chomp chest.
And then mirrored out and then went back to the right side for the Crystal Roller, completely skipping.
So for those that need a little catch up on this, that may not have caught this, we've got Hookshot in the lava chest of Turtle Rock that Trip needs, and Pool Float's go mode is sitting in Uncle with a Master Sword on Uncle and Canis Samaria in the chest. So it's just a matter of who goes to their go mode spot first. Trip heading back up the mountain. Could be thinking Hera. Maybe goes into Turtle Rock on the way.
With the cane, that gives a bit more incentive to go in there.
That's true. You can get to the front now.
And I believe he already opened the door, so he just has to run inside.
And that's exactly where he's going. Well, maybe not. Nope, that it. Yeah,
I believe this is the last chest in Meyer for Pool Float, so he'll get his silvers, and then hope he goes after to Castle. I guess Trip finally realized, yep, this is the faster play right here first.
Yeah.
Smith chain for Pool Float.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that he doesn't forget that he didn't get that chest. After this long, it might be possible.
Oh.
Realize he doesn't have the hook shot and has to
Yep.
go the long way.
No one in the history of this game has ever done this before. Definitely not me. The scenic route. Yeah. No, definitely no one has ever done this. So our last two small keys. That could make him realize that the lava chest is a thing now.
Hopefully.
I think they found the map and the compass.
But he's not dropping down, so he's going to Hera.
Going to Hera, yep. Going for a fairy?
Now he's dropping down.
Oh, okay. Going for the big chest. Because he's got the cane now. And leaving.
I think he's forgotten about it.
Yeah, I think he's just forgotten about it. That is honestly heartbreaking.
You hope for a close race, but you also don't hope that no one forgets an item. And that's not the way that race ends.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of not like this comes into play for sure.
Okay, I think Pool might be going there. Shovel and then to Castle.
Shovel, yeah. Yep, off to Hera.
Come on, Pool. Uncle.
I think that's all that's left is for Pool at this point, right?
I think so too.
Desert Boss, which was kind of surprised that Pool didn't do Desert Boss after Meyer. Unless they were just like, I'm not doing this no matter what. But yeah, this looks like this is going to be our Uncle check here.
So he'll probably check Uncle first. Yep, Uncle first. So he'll be in
Yep.
gun mode right here. Not even going to check the rest of the castle.
Won't need to.
And he's going to be kicking himself about this too.
That 138.40 Pool float has hit go mode. You can't use that cane yet. This Pool really just wanted to chuck a block. Sometimes you just want to chuck a block.
Yep. Okay, so this should be a very quick video. In and out with silvers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Like the way that these runners are coming about their go mode you've got a feel for both of them. I don't think either of them are going to be super happy with how this went.
I always feel bad whenever I circle what my go mode was. Like, how many times was pool float in the area to check uncle? And all the times that Trip was in Turtle Rock, but that one chest.
Yeah, that dip for the big chest, that was hard to watch. We started heading towards Hera, but then turned back and dropped down. It's like, this could be it. And then just grabbed the big chest and left. And to add personal insult to injury, I have to watch him go through the basement of Tower of Hera.
You have to watch both go through the basement.
Yes, but only one of them's my teammate. That's the difference.
Let's hope pool float actually remembers silvers.
Looks like it. Alright, I think we're probably going to see, yep, a spike cave check here out of Trip. Very nice silver kill from Pool Float. And their 7th crystal has been acquired. Trip didn't... Trip skipped it, but I don't think the thought was to skip it. We think the thought might have been just muscle memory and usually stealing the pokey key and leaving, as you would do in a more standard, like a non-inverted or a non-entrance rando mode.
At least now he has tempered. We're never going to see that one from pool float. Green pendant turn in, so we'll see what this one is. Yeah, there can still be another sword in GT.
Wondering what is Trip doing now?
He maybe... Oh no. I don't know. Ice Rod Cave? Does he think he forgot it, or did he actually forget it?
I believe he didn't do Ice Rod Cave, yeah. No, I think it's every runner's worst nightmare. You're like, what do I have left? What do I have left? Like, where you're not even sure.
Yeah, and at this point, for how many times he's been back into TR, we have to believe he's forgotten about that chest altogether.
Yeah. Trip. Wondering what we're gonna see here. Is this
King's Tomb?
Oh, King's Tomb. Yeah, okay.
And there's tempered sword for pool float.
There it is. Our
must
GT
feel-
sword that we were waiting for.
Yeah, he must feel good about that one at least. There's the big key.
Pool float is a climb away here, as Trip is probably heading off to Landmo.
Yeah, that's likely. It's the last item in here. At this point, I'm hoping it's Ice Rod there. That'll send him back to TR. At least give him one more chance there.
Even then, like, this might be it might just be a kill Trinex and then
Never mind.
what type of situation.
I was corrected by chat. Ice Rod was
Oh.
found in GT.
I was gonna say, I thought I just saw a pool float get the ice rod a little bit ago as well. But... Yeah, no,
Ice Rod was
Trip
home.
is Trip is down to the last of it here at this point.
Yeah, if he doesn't find it here, I expect a little bit of a pause while he thinks of what could he have missed. To answer chat saying even if it was Ice Rod, just mirrored a laser bridge. I'm hoping that by going into Turtle Rock, he would have seen I have 5 keys. Why do I have 5 keys? And that one maybe tricks his memory into remembering.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping would happen when he did the front, because he got 3 small keys in the front.
Nice Landmo.
I was about to say nice land mows, but Trip missed with an arrow there. There we go. Almost concurrent land mows for a piece of heart. Now we'll have to see what Trip thinks about here.
Question is, what does he have left? It's
Yeah.
probably not much. Going to the right place, the mountain.
I think that chest is the only thing that he's got left up here.
Logically, yes. I wonder if being in desert sort of got him caught up just to like a no-brain thing. Some people use the boss fights to think of where they might have missed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or just the running through desert. Here we go. This looks like the right place to drop in
dropping down here, yeah. He suddenly remembered.
Okay, yeah, there's no mistaking it now. I think that's the 3rd time he's seen that chest going through these tubes as well. 3rd or 4th time. And there we go.
We'll move for trip.
Again, that's never how you like to see it for someone, but at least got there. That's the good thing.
Yep. You at least want to. My thing is always hit go mode before my opponent finishes if I'm going to be beat that badly. Again, with all the teleports today.
Looks like
Okay, there we go. Pool float has Ganon down.
I was wondering what happened there with our streams. And get your GZs in chat for Pool Flow. Finishing it first with an official racetime.gg time. Minutes 20 seconds.
And Trip did forfeit shortly after seeing the finish time, which was expected at that point.
Okay, I think we might get joined by Pool Float here shortly. But GG's to Pool Float and GG's for you got Poutine on my stake. Now 3-0.
Yep,
on the season. Very
a
nice.
bit of luck to each of the races, but honestly, you kind of have to take those when they come up.
Yeah, you take those every time they come out. Definitely hats off to these runners who put us through a very interesting journey through Hyrule.
And we're joined by Pool Float. GG.
Geez, thank you.
So how about that seed?
Well, I should have known I was going to get a low percent blind thrown at me. Turns out it wasn't required, so I was glad to be able to dodge it after I finally admitted defeat and went back there.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt we're trying to do other stuff to get some safeties before going back there. Unfortunately, that was the play to get the pearl.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't, I'm glad I eventually said, you know what, I really shouldn't, put it off. I put it off as long as I possibly could, and eventually it's like, well, at this point, let's just hope the item is waiting for me not on blind. And got really lucky there.
Yeah, I mean the boss was one thing. Even the dungeon though was it was not very nice to send you both in there with 4 hearts to collect that moon pearl from the big chest.
No, and I knew as soon as I got the hammer and I went to the pyramid and I saw a big key, I said, I knew it was going to be Thieves Town big, because I had 2 practice seeds that sent me to both. I had one that sent me to Thieves with 4 hearts to then get a fire rod off a blind to then have to go to Moth with 5 hearts. So I was and then I did a practice seed yesterday that was much friendlier. So I was ready both ways, but I was really hoping it would have been friendlier in the start.
Well, you eventually got there, got the pearl, and were able to progress through the seed.
Yeah, that was nice to see. I was afraid it was going to be, well, I don't want to say afraid, but I was expecting it to be like Lamp, send me up the mountain to send me to Aga Tower, to then send me to somewhere really awful to get a mirror, to then get a pearl. I was kind of
you were ready
expecting
for
that.
the terrible, like, bunny running for a pearl trip or something like that?
I was, because I've been doing some cross keys and retrance practice, and I know bunny walking is much more common in entrance, but I had my most recent seeds. There was like I went back and checked my local recording, and I had like almost an hour and a half just of bunny walking before I finally got a pearl. Granted, it was my terrible routing, so I was sort of expecting that's where once I finally admitted defeat and went and was like, all right, I got to go to blind. Then I was expecting it to just kind of spiral.
Well, thankfully it didn't. One thing I got to know as your teammate, why so long to Uncle? You had so many chances before that.
So that was I don't know why, but with inverted, if I don't have to go through Aga Tower, then for whatever reason, Uncle just goes to the back of my mind and then just kind of sets up shop there. And I just, because I took some gambles, like the early-ish TR gamble for that hook shot, I thought, okay, at this point, I was literally Eastern Big and Samaria and a sword, which I expected to be in GT, from Go mode. So I just figured, let's just go through dungeons, and then let's go for density of checks. And, it just, for some reason in my mind, it doesn't always put together that Uncle is 2, and then there's the front of Hyrule Castle, as I believe that was 5 checks total. My mind just didn't put that together before it said, hey, go check these dungeons.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just from the knowledge of commentating.
Yeah, and that's definitely something.
I'll fill in the blanks here. The whole time, Iceman's like, "Why isn't he going to Uncle? Why isn't he going to Uncle? He's at Eastern. Why isn't he going to Uncle?"
I can't wait to hear that on the watch back. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to tell you that it was my grand plan to like try to god route, which obviously didn't happen, knowing where the item was. But no, it for some reason, like I don't play enough inverted, so with the changes that do exist, it just things don't always click very fast for me in this mode.
No, that's understandable. I think that's essentially what happened to Trip as well. It just the one check muscle memory a bit, and then just forgot about it for the rest of the seed.
Yeah, we were talking in the race room for a bit after, and so his go mode was hookshot, and one thing I do remember from the inverted that I have played is TR, and I know like my team last year we have the whole reference of Always Sunny and Pendant Pod and that, but my experience in inverted, especially Pendant TR, loves to be holding something important. So I said to myself, as soon as I had TR access, I was going to get up there and check everything I could.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, as a cross keys runner, it's the same. I've seen Pearl in that exact chest so many times now that I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, and I think with that dungeon being a pendant, I think it's fair to say that wasn't even a gamble. I think that was just a good play to go in at that point when you had most of it clearable.
Yeah, it's just the Death Mountain is just so annoying and inverted. Like it takes so many loops to clear it.
exactly. And that's the other. Like, it's really annoying, but for the same reason, the same logic tells you want to get everything while you're there and not have to come back and do it all again potentially.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I think when you were both around there around the same time ish and clearing through it, and I was happy to time, and obviously it paid off with a hook shot in there waiting for you.
Yeah, I was when I got that, I was very happy for that to be there, and I gave my webcam a thumbs up, and it was very I was very happy to see that, and then I honestly felt, okay, this could be a really, really nice placement. And then as the seed drug on, and I realized that I was 3 items from go, and then suddenly I go to ice, I get Eastern big, and I got now 1 item from go. And it's taking more and more to find it. Then my optimism from that early hookshot turned into, well, at this point, my opponent probably has that, and probably also found Samaria. So, like, literally, as I'm waiting, like as I'm waiting for the fanfare on Ganon, because I don't look at the race room, I switch over to the race room, and I say to myself, if I lost by less than 15 minutes because of Uncle, I'll be happy. And I was legitimately, I was very shocked when I saw that I had the chance, pending a snipe, of being first.
Yeah, but in the end, it all worked out. I think I'm done with the questions. We can start wrapping up soon. Any other questions, Mom?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that came to mind to me, but no. Like I think you summed that up pretty well. Just as I was watching this seed, I was just going ugh. So GG's for getting through it.
It was something.
But yeah, I think we can probably wrap it up here. Yeah. So GG's again to Pool Float, and you got Cheesesteak taking the win in this one. GG's to Trip as well. He played a good race. I think he just made an unfortunate mental error. I wanted to see if he wanted him in, but he needed to he needed a process. We'll put it that way. So
totally understandable as well.
It's a good time to mention, as Pi has done for us, don't forget to follow Pool Float G and Trip SC2. Obviously, you can follow our backer as well. There we go. We got that. Thank you for that command. I didn't realize they were all together. I'm Homewrecker. Iceman, do you have any other final thoughts here?
No, just other than, once again, GG, and hope your team gets a bit of luck going your way. Probably it's going to happen tomorrow.
Oh, yes, tomorrow. It's you and Aridin, isn't it?
Yeah, I just hope for a close race. I'll be happy with that.
I hope for a good race, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to watch that as well. So good luck to you tomorrow on that.
Thank you, and hope everyone has a good night.
Yep. Everyone have a good night. Thanks for watching.
Everyone.